Hey folks, post-production, Seraph here. And welcome back to more post-production of Super Talking Time Brothers. Yeah. I've already explained it in the last video, so you folks already know what's going on. So, Temple of Trials by Brick Road. Off the top of my head, I went into this kind of assuming, more Mario levels, but no, turns out it's a Link level. And actually a pretty darn good one after that. Pretty darn good one. As long as you're careful. Not too mega. What's the word I'm looking for? As long as you're not too reckless. I don't know why I decided to bring that bomb with me, because, I just kind of did. I have a habit of bringing everything with me to be prepared, and also, that still reminds me of that falling thing in a lot of Final Fantasy games. FF4 in particular for me. So, this level is precisely as the label reads. This is a Temple of Trials. You will have trials. Get to them and do them, and that's how you progress. You'll see as it goes. Although for the beginning of this, I seem to be a little too comfortable with my ice power-up, because then I lose it. Too comfortable. Way too comfortable. And after the trial, you get a key. Can you guess where that goes? No. Not really. Not me, anyway. All I do is just kind of faff about it. The level is very straightforward. You have a defined place of where you're going and what you need to do. That's really all I can say about the level, and it's actually quite fun. Well, it gives you a lot of practice with Link, that's for sure. Especially for the bosses that you end up seeing in this level anyway. I mean, while most Cinnamon X characters have to deal with bosses in very particular ways, Link can just be like, and that's to that, I'm just gonna stab you. You. And then you're dead. And Link, thereby, tends to have an easy time with most bosses. Kind of interesting, really. And which one is this? Is this... Oh, yeah, there's the midpoint. I think I vaguely recall which one this is. No, I don't, actually. It was... Oh, there it is. Ward. Meanwhile, poor Ward. He's so shocked at being stabbed by what appears to be a sword that he just can't react. Well, it is a sword, but, you know. Old NES days, in terms of graphics and video games. I kind of miss it. I should probably go play some sometime. But that being said, this is pretty much what this whole level's all about. First few trials, simple enough. And then suddenly, we're in Metroid! Huzzah! I went over here because I was curious. Looks like my curiosity was right, huh? I mean, it's one of those things where you kind of have to look at by virtue of curiosity. Unless you just don't want to for some reason, and in that case you're just not curious. And then of course, because we have Rinkas, and we have a Metroid setting, it just so happens to be Mother Brain, right? I don't know why I decided to do it like this, but for some reason I did. I was content with just dodging and projectiling Mother Brain. Until that happened. Pro tip, kids, remember that Link can actually block things as long as you know how. I did not remember. Therefore, I kinda don't. Kinda to vary, depending on who you are. And then more Metroid reference. I won't lie, this took me by surprise too. I figured that was the end of it and be like, okay, we're done, cool. No, not really. We're not done. That was a thing. But this is pretty much the end of the level at this point. You switch to Mario, and you're done. Short and sweet. Doesn't overstay its welcome. And that's that, really. Again, very straightforward level. I rather liked it. Not as funny as not Roy's Castle, but it was still pretty fun. I'm still gonna keep remembering that song in my head for like a while. It's stuck in my head now. Rainbow Shell Rampage by L. O-L. You have a lot of video. Yeah, you have a lot of videos. You have a lot of levels in this particular production. I wonder if they did more levels in the other Talking Time Brothers. Yeah, I guess I'll find out later, if I ever get to those games at some point. But, how do describe this level. This is Disco Shell, the level, for the most part. This is basically exactly as I said. This is Disco Shell, the level. As many applications as you could probably think of. And then a Yoshi. Incidentally, if you can't keep that Yoshi, you pretty much can just breeze through a lot of this level. Just breeze through it, quite literally. But again, that's assuming you're careful. Knowing this is me, we're talking, that's not always the case. Not always. I do find it interesting. It's been a long day. But, I do find it interesting that they really try to get you with, the disco shells. Just in a lot of these scenarios. Not too bad. And here, this will be another case of you'd probably be in a bad spot if you didn't have Yoshi. And that's going to be the main gimmick of part 2 of this particular level. I don't know what's down there, and I try to see if I can get in there with Yoshi, but, you know, Yoshi too big, therefore can't squeeze, so I end up not going there. Well, it was a thing. And I don't know why I tried so adamantly to grab that. From there, of all places. Oh well. Pretty much. This is the whole gimmick. I haven't seen too many Disco Shell level gimmicks, so I can't really say much about this one. It feels pretty straightforward. And again, that seems to be the case with... I know I'm repeating this a lot, but that is definitely the case with a lot of the levels in Super Donkey Kong Brothers, the first. A lot of the levels are very straightforward, for the most part. I mean, the odds of you getting confused is probably because of level gimmicks and or hidden things, but past that, the levels, they pretty much do a fairly good job of just kind of showing you which way you should be going. Also, I don't know what's past that way because I lost my Yoshi. And I don't believe I go back to even look, because reasons. Also a nice way to make you grab that and release the shells. Try to see what else is there. How many more did I do in this one? I don't remember. Bubbling Cauldron by L. Ah, this one. Okay, I remember this one. 2 stars on this one. Ugh, I don't really know what to say. Again, I find this is actually a very new experience for me, trying to do a lot of post-production commentary, because usually I prefer to do things on the fly, because reasons. I like it. I prefer to do these kinds of commentaries on the fly, but trying to figure out meaningful things to say in the post-production is not as easy as it looks. Unless you've got everything scripted out already, which I don't, so I'm just kind of winging it. So here, it's... Hey buddy, you have a boat. I'm sailing through the lava. Be sure not to pop too many things. But then the game gives you all the shells in the world, and you're basically encouraged to pop as many things as you can. Or whatever you are tempted to pop, rather. Which... there's that P-switch up there. It's not very clear to me at first what you have to do, but you do need to use it. Right at this moment, I bring it with me because I have this strange feeling I'm probably going to need it somewhere near the end, right? Usually that's the case, depending on the creator. But you'll see. And then, of course, they added in the bitey plants, too. Again, you would probably think of a level like this would feel overcluttered, but it didn't feel too overcluttered for me, I guess. I mean, it's manageable. And then, of course, Dragon Coin right at the end. I missed a few! I think. I don't remember how many I even picked up at all. I don't remember a lot of things. I have a very short span memory. And then right about here is pretty much where I start to figure out, okay, something about that P-switch, something, we'll find out as we go. because winging it is usually the only thing I do in most games anyway, and I am quite an idiot. Wow, I'm stupid. I mean, granted, I tend to say that about myself when that happens in real time, but looking at it from the... How did that even happen? Even watching this in the post footage, I'm wondering how that even happened. Did I just physics slip off? What, did the Invisible Man decide, you, push? I really don't know how to explain that. If somebody has an idea how that even is explained, then, or how that even works, then by all means enlighten me, but I really don't quite know how that even worked out in the first place. It's mildly confusing. And of course, by virtue of how I am when it comes to projectile enemies you can use as projectiles, I decided, screw it, I don't want these enemies spawning. I'm just gonna leave this here and plug the hole up. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at popping bubbles. I guess that's how it happens when you're a passive person, huh? Bursting bubbles is not exactly my forte. And here we go. From here on, I believe I find out what the P-switch does. At this point, I'm like, what does it do? Oh, cool. Oh, I missed it. Oh. And then things happened, and then... right on cue. But at that point, you know, then comes the realization of, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay. What does it do, though? And then comes the aftermath. I really need to be careful how I throw enemies around as projectiles willy-nilly. More often than not, you're always going to get yourself hurt. Unless you're absolutely paranoid or something. Which, to a degree, I kind of am. But not by enough, since I still like to throw things around in these kinds of games. It's a very, now that I look at, take a step back and listen to this, the choice in music and the atmosphere in terms of how they made this is, rather calm, actually. I mean, it does feel rather calm to me. Well, I guess it wouldn't make sense to have a boat going at this speed and then having high-octane music. And there's your reward for all the red coins. A boot. So at this point it dawns on me what you're supposed to do. I'm like, oh, a boot. Well, that's that. I'm just gonna go ahead and, forget the boat. I'm just going here. I have a boot, for God's sakes. And then huzzah, the other part of the level. As a result of getting the boot. This is supposed to be a bigger part of the ship, or just a ship. Yeah, like the actual ship, I guess. I'm assuming this is supposed to be the actual ship, and the other one we saw was a smaller vessel. Interesting how they make it look like a ship, though, using these sprites. And that's that. 2 stars down. And of course, after that, we got, like, what, 2 more afterwards? But at this point, I've decided to just cut it off. So, well, by virtue of I'm just really not sure how long these other levels were. So until then, I think that just about covers it. Do I do anything? Nah, doesn't seem like it. Well, in any case, this post-production served yours. See you folks in the next part. As soon as I figure out why I stand here for so long talking about stuff. And then I find out that this is Bowser's UFO. Riveting.